Howdy, it's Dr. Alejandro.
And I'm Dr. Emily.
And as many of you know, we have 4 clinics on our first 3 years in practice.
If you're ready to level up your business, find us at paththovictorychiro.com to get on the path to victory.
Why franchise is a trap? That's what we're going to be talking about. I almost got into the trap mouse, whatever you call it. How do we go about that? So I remember when we were in school, they invited us to this big event, and I think each ticket was like $5,000 to $6,000, and they pay for our tickets to go there, and we were VIP, and we finished up at a VIP hotel with everyone. And they were trying to get us into working into this franchise, and I saw how fancy everyone was, and I was like all in, as the male of the relationship. I'm like thinking like finances, we're secure, we don't have to get a loan, we don't need to think about that. So I was all in, but something was shady, you were saying, but I'm like, hey, we only need to give 10%. Let's absolutely do it. Mm-hmm. That's what they were telling us. And fast forward, then we met a couple doctors that were in that franchise, and all of the offices were closing. And for us, that was a red flag. And now knowing more details into it, none of them were profiting. None of them were helping a lot of people. A lot of them are not making it. It was at 30%, I think, the franchise fee plus the coaching. It was like, I don't know how many thousands it was. So like, it was impossible to profit from it. Do you remember that time?
I do. Scary times. I'm so glad that we didn't sign with those people either, because we're doing so much better on our own. But there's a lot of fine print behind the scenes. So initially they said it's only 10% of your profits. We're like, okay, we could take a 10% haircut and still be okay as long as we have the logo and the brand recognition. And they set up everything, and they help you, coach you, and they do trainings. And it seemed really good on paper, but then like uncovering more details, not only is there like logistics, like, okay, they're going to take an additional 30%, and also like putting your upfront, actually like you had to have a down payment to even like open the franchise. And okay, where are we getting that money? What's the difference of just going to a bank and getting a loan? But then looking more from an intuition perspective, and this is where I always tell people, go with your gut. Things felt really shady and slimy. And now uncovering some things about the owner and about that whole franchise, I'm really, really glad that we didn't go with that, because it's not at all fitting in with our core values.
But with that, if you're a student, just make sure you don't have the shiny object syndrome, because I had it. And if you weren't with me, I'll probably be on that mousetrap, just like spinning around. Because, as a male, as a student, I think about that and I'm like, oh, yeah, absolutely, let's do it. Because you see what they put in social media, and it's everything. Obviously, it's going to be super nice. So I'm glad I didn't fall into that trap. And then there's more franchise in chiropractic that I know there. You need to put, is it 30,000?
It's $50K down.
$50K down. They get 30%, correct?
They get 70% until you profit $20K or higher.
Really?
Okay. And then it flops, and they get 30%. You keep 70%. But I'm like, who would actually
Can you repeat that one more time?
So the down payment is $50K. I just had a message here. We're not going to name names either, because that would be wrong. The down payment is $50K, and then they collect 70% until you are profiting $20K, and then you get 70% and they get 30%.
And you're still a franchise, and you need to cover all the other fees. So
and you have to pay for a build out too. If the office needs build out, you cover that.
And you have to have the culture that they have, correct? And based on that as well, I heard that the associates on those clinics, they're not on a salary. They take a percentage of the patients that they bring. So I've heard in that franchise, there's a lot of associates that don't even have money to pay their own rent. And the chiropractors don't help them still. So it's kind of sad at that point. Like, might as well just work somewhere else, or just open your own.
Definitely.
Because they're not taking care of you. So that's not sustainable. And I know like there's been a lot of problems recently that has been splitting up though.
Something good with this particular program though, I know their training program is legit. I know their systems are legit. Like, what they do works. It's just like the behind the scenes that isn't right. And this is exactly why we're not a franchise. So let's talk about all the reasons why we decided not to make Victoryspinalcare a franchise and just do individual offices.
Can you like cut a little bit and explain more that we're not a franchise? How come? Because I know a lot of people, and recently we got a message because there's 5 Victories overall, and they think it's a franchise.
Right. So Victory is not a franchise. We are a partnership program. So if a chiropractor approaches us and they say, hey, I would love to open a Victoryspinalcare in Birmingham, Alabama. Okay, awesome. What we're going to do is we're going to partner with you. We're going to fund everything up front to help you open your office. We're going to give you the systems, all the processes. We're going to help train you, the doctors, the staff, everything. We give you everything that we have, a blueprint, and the finances to back that up. And then in turn, we profit share after the opening. Do you want to go into numbers about that?
And we have boots on the ground as well.
Yeah. And it varies depending on if it's a couple, if it's just a singular chiropractor. The numbers vary, of course. But why we're not a franchise is because there's no authenticity behind franchises. It's really hard if you have a Subway in Birmingham, Alabama, or in Abilene, Texas. They're going to be the exact same thing. It's just a different location. You're just in a different city. Victoryspinalcare is different in every city because every doctor is different. You're going to get amazing and excellent care, and overall the systems and processes will be the same, but it's really hard for us to replicate what somebody is doing in Abilene versus in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, because we're in 2 different markets and we're completely different doctors. And that is the art and the philosophy behind chiropractic is it's different. And so you can't replicate things exactly. It's not a cookie cutter approach. I'm going to get the same amazing chiropractic care no matter what city I'm in, but it's not that same replicated version.
Correct. Yes. And we were talking about it. And as the owner, you want to be a franchise because it's more beneficial for the head owner of the whole franchise, but it's not beneficial for the person that is going to open another franchise. Does that make sense?
Exactly.
So an example, I'm the owner of the franchise and Emily wants to open that franchise in Alaska, then Emily's not going to be winning, but I'm going to be winning. So we were thinking, how can we make it win-win and how can everyone have skin on the game and still be a business owner?
Yes.
So the best that came was partnership.
Yeah.
Partnership, because you still have you own most of the percentage as you're going to be basically working on the clinic. I own a little bit of the percentage, but I'll be helping you in every aspect of the behind the scenes.
Yep.
So that was the most beneficial for the person being the doctor, boots on the ground.
Yep. Okay. I think what's cool too about Victory, just to jump in, is like we don't stress about things like who runs our payroll or like billing and accounting and profit and loss statements. We don't really worry about any of that because Victory as a whole takes care of all of that. We have all of the people already set up in place. If you have like personal connections or like local things that you want to use, you certainly can. But that's the beauty of not being a franchise is that we're still allowing the doctor to go in and you're still technically a clinic owner, but you can utilize all of the resources that we have if you so choose, but you don't have to at the same time.
Yeah. And we have 2 trainings a year. A bunch of weekly meeting. It's been super beneficial. Honestly, I cannot imagine if we wouldn't done that, the partnership. So I'm super thankful that we were blessed with that opportunity.
Yeah. Like Shark Tank, right? 50% of a watermelon is better than 100% of a grape. And so we wanted to go out and do our own thing. And we decided to not do the franchise thing initially. And then when we decided to open on our own, we realized how actually difficult it was to open not only your own business, but your own successful, profitable chiropractic business. And then we found our partner who was our Shark Tank shark. And we pitched him an offer and thankfully he accepted. And now we literally have Mark Cuban in our corner and we have that to offer for everybody. So he's 10 steps ahead of us. And then we're 3 steps ahead of the next person that we're helping out. And so it's just going to continue on like that. We love our model. We love what we do. We're super passionate about it. And we love the Lord. And that is a huge part of our core value as well. So hoping to partner with other amazing entrepreneur chiropractors who want to help do the same and want to help their community out. So if this interests you, if this resonates with you at all, we'd love to speak more. You can visit our website. Check us out at pathtovictorychiro.com. We share all of our tips, our successes, but also all of our failures and mistakes so that hopefully you can avoid those. We'd love to connect with you on Facebook as well in our Path to Victory group. And if you want more information, don't miss Nashville event in May, Purpose and Profit. I'll be talking about this.